and welcome to Action Teacher Video. Video is a powerful tool that teachers are using to reflect on their own practice and to communicate new ideas. In this series, we feature videos produced by teachers themselves and discuss the contents and implications here in the studio. In this programme, we'll be looking at an innovative approach to primary English teaching in Greet Primary School, captured on camera by teacher Heather Ravenhall and called How to Motivate Reluctant Readers. I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by Heather Ravenhall. Hello Heather, welcome to the show. Joining Heather is another teacher with some similar experiences and concerns from Broadway Junior School, Chris Horn. Hello and welcome. I'm also pleased to introduce a consultant and frequent contributor to Teachers TV, Adrian Jones.
Hello.
Hello. Heather, I wonder if you could tell me a bit about your project.
I wanted to choose literacy, some kind of focus with literacy, and as one of my strengths is reading, I focused on that. I was looking within my classroom first of all to see what areas of literacy I thought were lacking, and the children didn't actually go up to the book corner and have a look at books, and that really puzzled me. I wanted to know how I could start to promote books within my classroom and hopefully promote that at home also.
Within my project, I have used a range of different strategies and methods to encourage children to enjoy reading and be enthusiastic about books. I have given books more prominence within the classroom, providing children with a range of reading material to show how important the skill is and that print is all around us. By providing a print-rich environment, it has encouraged children to choose reading as an activity within my reception classroom. I have found out by including lots of reading resources within my role-play corner, it has encouraged much more valuable speaking and listening, as well as giving children support with their early reading skills. I started off my project by collecting a baseline by interviewing children with a questionnaire. This gave me an insight into their enthusiasm about books at both school and home. It also helped me to get to know my children's interests a lot better, so I knew which would benefit from extra support.
On the other page, he had all the toys
in his room. So you like that book? It sounds really good. We've read that in class, haven't we? Is that why you chose that book? Yeah, because you'd read it before. Does somebody read stories to you at home?
Good night, bedtime about heart. When we read that, and then try hard to read myself. And one day, I read it. My mom
I found out when children choose a book for themselves, it encourages them much more to read as they know which kinds of books they like most. I offer both a range of fiction and information books at our library changing time, as I noticed boys enjoyed these better. This selection out of our reception library has helped to promote more reading for pleasure within the class.
Do you like Winnie the Pooh? Why did you pick that one up today, Maria?
Because I got Winnie the Pooh out of bed.
Have you? Is he your favourite character in this book, or do you like Tigger? Who is your favourite character in the book? Winnie the Pooh. Lovely. Do you think you can read all the words in this book, or are you going to have a look at the pictures today?
Look at the picture.
Okay, see if you can recognise any of your special words. This one, do you know that one? One of your special words. Good girl, the. And this special word? At, n, d,
At.
and. No, this one, t, or. To. Winnie the Pooh and Tigger too.
After a visit to the local library, I introduced a class mascot. The toy goes home with a book on the Monday and is brought back by Friday. It has helped children to get support from their parents and have something special to look after at home. The child then tells me what the book was all about and lets me know if they enjoyed it. These book reviews help them to understand a story has a beginning, middle and an end.
What is sensible here is going to read our information book about frogs in the lake, and then you can bring it back and tell us what it's all about. And Fredo the frog is going to help you.
It was a good book because people who don't know about fishes that live in the water, it was telling you about that, and it was telling people who don't know where fishes live.
Catches the fish, and why do you like this page about the walruses?
This is like a black Fish.
Do you know it's not a fish? Do you know what it is?
Whale.
It's a whale. Good boy. And whales are much bigger than fish. Fantastic. Did you like this book?
Yeah.
What did you like about it?
The shark is a starfish.
I introduced the children to different types of reading materials to show them they don't have to read just stories.
I read. What do you think this is? You're right. I read a newspaper. This comes into my door on a Thursday, and when I get home from work, I read, and it tells me what's going on around where I live. Whose mummy or daddy likes to read the newspaper at home?
I have used books and stories as starting points to introduce topics, and the children have been able to use them to support their own learning. It has encouraged the children to go and find out information independently. Where possible, we also try to back this up with a real-life experience.
What do you think he eats?
A rabbit, he eats carrots and
Like Bugs Bunny, do you think?
the rabbit eats carrots.
Yes, they do. My rabbit eats carrots. What else do you think they might eat?
They eat grass.
What's that?
Grass.
Grass. Do you remember at the Licky Hills? We went to the Licky Hills. The lady said that they eat all the grass and keep it very short, so they don't need a lawnmower. Remember? They're very little, aren't they? They've only just...
By being able to experience what they have read and found out about, the children have learnt more in depth, and they've really enjoyed it. By providing books about the topic, it has also promoted reading for pleasure and increased their enthusiasm about their own learning.
Isn't this soft, isn't it? And have you got pets at home? Anybody got a cat or a dog or anything?
I got cats.
Through actively using books, the children have benefited by building their confidence and self-esteem. They will now talk about things they have enjoyed reading and will freely choose independent reading activities. The reluctant readers of my class are using the book corner and have shown signs of increased pleasure in reading with enthusiasm about their books. I hope with time this project will carry on showing children that books are a fun way of learning lots and lots of new things.
Well, Heather, the children in the video seem to really be enjoying reading now. What was their attitude to books before?
Before, a lot of them wouldn't want to go and take that as a chosen activity. They would just make sure they went outside or get involved with construction, and now they're actually looking at the books and getting more involved, and then coming back and telling me things about them. I select a whole range of books now, not just storybooks. It's informed me that I need to use information books and also put out comics and all sorts of different magazines for them to look at.
What do you think are the key factors in encouraging children's interest in books and reading?
I think it's important to actually home in on what they enjoy, because if you don't do that, they won't be interested to pick up a book and they'll just shy away from doing that activity and want to do something else instead. So by making sure that comics were available or things off the television like Bob the Builder, they actually went and picked up those annuals instead, and that would encourage them to look at different words and help them then to go and pick up other books that we talk about within class.
Chris, do you think that encouraging children's interest in books needs to continue right the way through the primary school?
I agree with Heather. We need to excite and engage the children. Once you've got them engaged, they'll work with you and immerse them in the process. We also have boys and girls book club at school, and we invite in mums, dads, granddads, the lollipop man, the postman, the firefighter, and they come in and they read an extract from their favourite book, and that really excites and engages the children.
Heather, what did you find out that was new when you recorded your video and observed it later?
I was able to actually look at myself, and a factor that I thought that was very important for me was I was talking too much for the children and they weren't getting any thinking time. So I've actually reflected now on my teaching, and I will give them that little bit extra time.
Sensible here is going to read our information book about frogs in the lake, and then you can bring it back and tell us what it's all about. And Fredo the frog is going to help you.
Adrian, a very interesting idea of trying to encourage children to love reading there.
A mascot as a reading partner. How did you introduce that?
We had already a writing diary that went home with the children to encourage extra writing at home and involve the parents. But I incorporated this then with my project to look at reading, and I had a little tiny hedgehog, but he went missing, as all furry animals do when they go home with a child, and I had to replace that with a little frog, and it's encouraged the children to read with their parents. And with the children in our school, a lot of the children actually have English as an additional language, so we read the story beforehand in the classroom on a Monday, and then they can take that home with them. And if their parent doesn't actually read English and only speaks home language, they can then read the story with their child, and the child can then tell them in their own language. So it's something that they can all get involved with at home.
Chris, you teach older children. How do you develop this confidence in reading and also bringing in the parents?
We try and do it through the back door. Lots of parents are quite anxious about reading and literacy in school, so we offer them the opportunity to perhaps come into school to help with the cookery and perhaps with the sewing and the gardening, and in doing so introduce words and literature in terms of recipes and the backs of seed packets, and allow the parents to read with the children. So it's actually opening up their world and the language and the type of reading that can take place.
Do you know it's not a fish? Do you know what it is?
Whale.
It's a whale. Good boy. And whales are much bigger than fish. Fantastic. Did you like this book?
Yeah.
What did you like about it?
The shark is a starfish.
Those responses there, did anything surprise you?
The fact that they were able to correct themselves when they realised that it wasn't a fish and it was something much bigger. And also one of the boys on that clip that was shown, he actually went home and spoke to his parents about the book that he'd taken home and he'd looked at, and went on to the internet and got some information about fish and about whales. He's going and directing his own learning, which is something I didn't think would happen.
Do you think it would be useful to show this to colleagues?
I've shown this to the infant part of our primary school, and it raised lots of questions on how they should be promoting books as well. So hopefully in the future we'll see them taking on some of the ideas I've tried out.
Chris, do you think it's an idea for other schools, perhaps yours?
I think it's a wonderful idea. It's a new way of working. With us primarily being a junior school, we have links with our feeder infant school Key Stage 1, and to share practice across key stages, especially related to generic skills in reading and understanding and have a love of books. Yeah, I think it will be a wonderful opportunity to share that with my colleagues.
Have you used what you've learnt in your project with other schools?
I haven't had the chance to, unfortunately, but that's something maybe I could do in the future. And hopefully through this video other people will get to see what I've been doing and they could try it out for themselves.
I think that's a good point to end on, but I'm sure that this will provoke much more discussion. You can, of course, find out more from our website at teachers.tv, and it only remains for me to thank our teacher producer, Heather Ravenhall, and guest Chris Horn, and thanks also to Adrian Jones. Please join us again on Action Teacher Video, and in the meantime, from me, Xanthi Steen, goodbye.